Hey, it's Natha Campanella. It's Monday, and I'm here with my weekly astrological forecast for the week of January 12th through the 18th. It has been one of those mornings. It's my hope that I'm able to translate what's happening in the sky in such a way that it will help you to navigate your week with more fluidity. And in fact, that is how I practice astrology. I want people to understand their repetitious patterning. I want them to identify their blind spots and really understand what is happening, what's really happening, what's really going on in their lives. What can they not see that they need to? So if that sounds interesting to you, I encourage you to book a private reading. But in the meantime, let's talk about this week. So we've made it through eclipse season, and it has been intense. And part of that is because we've had so many planets in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is our planet of limitations and structure and boundaries and government. We've also had a Pluto-Saturn conjunction happening. The two planets have been coming closer and closer to each other for the last 6 months, but it's peaking now, and they are actually at the same degree currently. Saturn can absolutely show us our fears. It can speak to the defense responses that we have developed due to stress in our lives. And so when we're talking about stress and defenses and trauma, it gets heavy, right? And Pluto is the planet that wants us to look at those things and says, no more ignoring, no more repressing. Let's get real with what's happening so that we can shift it. Because we're at a turning point on the planet where people are no longer willing to pretend, right? So where in your life do you have fears that need to be addressed? Where are there things that have been underneath the surface of your own psychology that you have been unwilling or unable to process up until this point? Because it might be time to look at processing some of those things. So the places where we're allowing fear to hold us back, where we're keeping it from, where we're using it to avoid making decisions that are ultimately going to be positive for us, or the places where we are refusing to learn perhaps karmic lessons, or maybe we are reproaching other people for their mistakes instead of really looking to our own shortcomings. These are all things that are in the soup. It's in the field right now. And the more that we avoid, the more that we put our blinders on, the harder it is. So Pluto, our planet of transformation, says, be like a snake and shed your skin. So as I'm talking, just see what's coming up in your own process. What's some of the skin that you need to shed? And notice how attached you might be to holding on to some of the dysfunction. I know I am. I am up against some walls right now because I see very clearly these things that are sharp edges in my life, that are pebbles in my shoe, and I want to get rid of them, and yet I'm attached to them. Yeah, so be aware of that, because this is a week where we're not going to be able to escape. And I know if you're listening to this video that you're somebody that's interested in self-awareness and of seeing the truth. And Pluto and Saturn in conjunction bring us a lot of truth. And the truth isn't always pretty, but if we know it's there, then we can begin to deal with it. It's no longer that elephant in the room of our unconscious. So, should be interesting, right? And know that we have so many planets that are connected to this energy right now. We have Ceres, an asteroid that is about our physical self-care, our relationship to money. We have the Sun, which is about our identity and who we take ourselves to be. And we also have Jupiter, which is expansion. We have Mercury, which is the way that we communicate. So it's showing up across the board in our lives. And when I say that we're not going to be able to get away from it, I mean it. So make the most of this energy, even when it's pushing you up against that proverbial wall. take a deep breath and figure out, what do I need to release here? Or what do I need to really see? Or what am I attached to that's completely not serving me? And am I willing to let it go? What would it take to let it go? So these are all pertinent questions for this week. If you are wanting to explore what this means to you really personally, like I said, book a reading. If you feel like somebody that you know and love can benefit from hearing this message, tag them, send it to them. As a side note, for all of January, I am doing Instagram lives every Friday where we're talking about our family members, our families of origin and our families of creation, and the ways that we can use astrology to understand those people better and understand our relationship to those people better. All right, so make sure to join me for those or listen to the replay. And if you have questions or comments, please leave them for me. I love to have discussions, and it's always helpful for other people to see the discussions. It helps answer their questions. And if you have something private, by all means, direct message me. All right, you guys, hang in there, deep breaths. You got this. I'll see you next week. Bye.